We are now in 2024, which means that this year's Call of Duty release will be a Treyarch game, which is rumored to be called Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War. And in this video, we'll be diving into everything of what we know so far, because we actually know quite a lot, as leaks and rumors for this game have been going around ever since the end of 2022, including images and strings leaked from Warzone Mobile, and more recently with assets for the game within Modern Warfare 3's files, leaks from voice actors for the game itself, as well as insiders and leakers on Twitter. So let's dive into absolutely everything we know about the game, starting with the time period and the setting. According to Windows Central, Call of Duty 2024 is indeed Black Ops set during the Gulf War in the early 90s. The game will attempt to explore a nuanced narrative of the Gulf War with a critical focus on different participants within the conflict, and that it will dovetail into the end of the Cold War era and explore some of the consequences therein. As far as gameplay wise is concerned, the early 90s setting will mean a return to more traditional military combat technology and familiar Black Ops gadgetry. Very few details are known so far about the campaign, such as that it's apparently going to be very gritty and very violent according to leakers on Twitter, but we can concretely confirm at least one new character coming to the Black Ops game called Ratcliffe, as the actor for this character, Luke Charles Stafford, posted a Facebook post to his personal page which had various images and videos in what appeared to be a mocap studio for COD. The text on the post said that Activision decided to adapt their next main character Ratcliffe for Call of Duty off of my face and likeness, and I am elated. That post obviously doesn't exist anymore, but it's too little too late. And according to @leakers141 on Twitter, there are at least 3 more new characters coming to the game called Felix, Marshall, and Newman. Leakers have already discovered some campaign mission names such as Contract, Union, Safe House, which will be similar to the Safe House in Cold War, a mission that takes place on a farm, along with Storm, Extractor, Redacted, and Imposter. Let's now move on to zombies, which we actually know quite a lot about and sounds incredibly exciting. So I think first and foremost, round-based zombies is returning this year. Several leakers have confirmed it alongside sources that Charlie Intel has heard. Leakers have discovered that there is currently 2 round-based maps within the game's code, suggesting that we could get 2 round-based maps on launch. Code names for these maps are ZM Quartz and ZM Garnet. Now what's insane is we actually know some very specific details about both of these zombies maps, with one of them being set seemingly in a city, with there being references to a bank, a church, and police tape present in the map. It will likely have wire ascending similar to what we saw in Mauer de Totem, where you could travel between rooftops, and it will have machines that you can activate. I'll dive into a moment about what exactly I think this city map could be, but the second launch map sounds very exciting, where it will seemingly be set on an island with an elevator that takes you to an underground prison and lab, and it will have a ship with a deck cannon trap you can activate and set the angle of. Now when you first hear of an island map, your initial thoughts are Alcatraz or Zetzabo, but I think it's going to be neither of those, and thanks to COD Lore Facts on Twitter, they've pretty much narrowed down the exact backstory of this island map. Right at the very end of Black Ops Cold War Zombies Forsaken cutscene, we do see a 5 years later scene where Dr. Peck is pointing at a map as somewhere that he wants to travel to, and this is out in the middle of the ocean just near Japan. Ever since seeing this in October 2021, we've had no real direct references to any new island within the zombie storyline until Modern Warfare Zombies, where during this Act 2 cutscene we get some information about Zakhaev's right-hand man, James Fletcher. Now with Black Ops Gulf War being set in the 90s, we have some direct information about this character during the 90s, where in 1991 the CIA pulled Fletcher from the NZDF to do security for an island called Terminus Island, and in 1993 he was honorably discharged post-mission. Scanning his service record in this frame, you can see that officially Terminus Island doesn't exist, which means the CIA, and more likely Eddie, who's Richtofen, is purposely trying to keep this island hidden from public record, but also extremely likely that Eddie is the one that is funding Terminus outcomes. And we will see the very beginnings of the Modern Warfare zombie storyline connect directly to what happens next in the Black Ops timeline with the Gulf War in the 90s. So it's a near definite confirmation that the island map is going to be Terminus Island. Furthermore, we see at the end of Cold War that every member of Requiem was arrested by Eddie and placed in a prison. And what does this zombies map supposedly have? An underground prison. After being tricked by Eddie to help him secure the Forsaken, he banished Weaver, Gray, Carver, and Strauss to prison. And this would make absolute sense for this story to continue, seeing them in prison and escaping. Everything just lines up too perfectly for this all to not be what we see. And as for the other zombie map that is set in a city, we already know about that too from intel at the end of Black Ops Cold War, through an intel letter written by the director Eddie Richtofen himself, where there is something huge happening with a test site in West Virginia. There is a huge cover story made to believe that in West Virginia, a town had a nuclear power plant failure and that all of the local residents had to be removed from their homes and evacuated. This is all a complete lie, because Richtofen is building some sort of test site where 5,000 tons of steel is going to be delivered in order to build something, as well as there being a build schedule for a tunnel network, and that Richtofen went on a massive hiring spree, hiring new scientists, military personnel, operations personnel, and custodians, all for a mysterious reason that we currently do not know. Both maps sound like they have the potential to be really exciting, but on top of that, we've had recent leaks about certain systems and features returning, including major ones that we saw back in Black Ops 3. The first and the absolute biggest piece of news is that a gobblegum system is apparently coming to zombies this year. What the exact definition of that is unclear, but this is not the exact same gobblegum system that we had in Black Ops 3, but there will be something which is similar, perhaps some sort of consumables that you can take into the game with you, or like the gobblegum system, an actual physical machine in the map that will give you a consumable item that you can use within that match. It was such a popular system that I was surprised we didn't see anything like it in Cold War, but I'm really happy that we're getting something like gobblegums back. There's also some incredible intricate details about zombies known as well, such as the fact that jump scares will be returning in this year's game, and that one will be obtainable during a wonder weapon quest. There's also been several weapon list leaks for Black Ops Gulf War, including some specific zombies weapons, including the ray gun and, more surprisingly, the jet gun. The last time we saw the jet gun was in Black Ops 2's Transit, so there is a chance that we will see this weapon again, or some iteration of it, as it exists within the weapons list, which is just absolutely bonkers to me. And I'm sure as time goes on, we're going to learn some more specific details about zombies ahead of any reveal, but I'm just really excited that we're now in the year where we are fully going to see Treyarch back with a full-fledged zombies title from head to toe. Now, when it comes to multiplayer, we also know a shocking amount of details already, including maps, perks, and potential score streaks. According to forward leaks on Twitter, dolphin diving is going to be reworked in Black Ops Gulf War, where it will be different from how it works in Modern Warfare 3 and 2, with dolphin diving becoming more useful in a way. The weapon platform system that's in Modern Warfare 2 and 3 will return to some extent, and found within code within the Modern Warfare 3 files, there is already a list of some perks seen in multiplayer, which include anti-up, double time, operative, which is a brand new one, which combines a few perks where you'll be able to see enemies through walls for a short time after respawn, a HUD edge indicator flashes when an enemy is outside your view, and you don't leave death skulls when killing enemies, scavenger, and dexterity. There is also a really early list of the known maps so far for multiplayer for Black Ops Gulf War, which include a few remakes from Black Ops 2. The current known list is Radar, Island, Pillage, Canals, CMD, which is not to be confused with WMD, Grind, Firing Range, and Veiled. So of course, Firing Range from Black Ops 1 seems to be returning, as well as Grind, which was a DLC map in Black Ops 2. Now, that isn't the full list. There is bound to be a lot more than that. And according to Insider Gaming back in October, they understand that a large majority of classic maps from the Black Ops series are currently in development for Treyarch's next title, but they couldn't pinpoint which ones will return to the core game on launch as DLC or integrated into the next Warzone map. And that's speaking to their sources, they understand that the new tactic of remastering old maps on such a massive scale is a means of reducing the series' notoriously scrutinous development time. The added benefit of remastering all these old maps is also a nostalgia factor, where everyone's going to love to see some of these amazing old maps back again. But I don't think we should be too worried about this just being a nostalgia trip, because there are clearly some brand new maps here in this list, some which the loading images for have leaked as well all the way back in 2022 thanks to Warzone Mobile, which again helped to confirm that this this is definitely a game set in the 1990s. There is a lot of excitement and expectation riding on this game, and for good reason, because this is the longest development time Treyarch has ever put into a Call of Duty title that it's leading, indicating that we should have a massive amount of content upon launch of this game, with a big sizable narrative campaign along with a massive amount of multiplayer maps, weapons, modes, and the fact that we're going to have 2 full-fledged zombies maps on launch. Now, we don't have an official release date, but we can assume that this will be late fall to early winter as reported by Windows Central, and every Call of Duty game basically comes out in October or November every year anyway. But a big question that we don't know the answer to is if this game is also going to be supported on last-gen consoles such as the PS4 and Xbox One. So far, the last 3 years of Call of Duty releases have been, but eventually that's going to have to stop. And when that does, we're going to be able to see Call of Duty in its full next-gen glory, where it won't be tied down at all to the fact that it also has to run and release on the older consoles as well. My personal thoughts is I feel that Black Ops Gulf War will be the final game to be supported on last-gen consoles, with whatever game we get the following year to be next-gen only. But as far as the lead-up and marketing, I mean, look at what we had with Black Ops Gulf War, with Pawn Takes Pawn, with the incredible viral marketing for that. It was an incredible moment and one of the most exhilarating times to be a Call of Duty fan and as a creator as well. And I really hope that we see something similar to that again, because it was just so engaging and so exciting to always constantly be tuning in to see what new updates we were getting around the game. And as with everything we've discussed in this video, even if it's come from coding within the game files itself, it's best to take everything with a pinch of salt, because time will tell what exactly this game is going to end up being and what it's going to include. But this is guaranteed to be one of the biggest Call of Duty releases we've had in a long time here on the channel, so to make sure you don't miss out on anything along the way when it comes to updates and news on the game, you need to make sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, let me know by clicking that thumbs up.